transfer window is now shut.
Yeah.
Stu, Newcastle United. We said in August transfer flurry on the cards. Didn't quite happen.
No, not in August. No.
Certainly happened in January. Let's go through them really. You're probably first and foremost glad to see bodies through the door because they couldn't really take a gamble, could they, with the squad the way it was?
No, and also apart from Jeremy, there's been no players left, which I think is the pleasing thing because, as we saw just before the transfer window, it was starting to get very thin on the ground, wasn't it? Definitely. In the first team, not just in the squad overall.
Oh, definitely. I think a couple of injuries in any more key departments, and I think if they hadn't have bolstered it now, then I'd say it would have jeopardised getting promoted, which is what it's all about this season. But first and foremost, first through the door was a player that we knew already because he'd been on loan. Danny Simpson, Man United, good solid right back. I think as it got closer to his loan expiring, his form seemed to dip a little bit. I didn't know what he was thinking about his future and trying too hard. Then he picked up an injury as well, but he's finally through the door now, and I think that's a good addition. Definitely,
yeah. I don't think he's a player who's going to let anybody down. He might not be the best out there, but I certainly think he's certainly good enough for the Championship, and I think he's one which has got a lot of potential to be good enough for the Premier League as well. Mm-hmm. I don't think any Newcastle fans can be too disappointed with his arrival.
Mm-hmm. Mike Williamson, obviously we were linked with him again in August, didn't come off. He went to Portsmouth and obviously had the disaster to end all disasters there in terms of not being able to pick up his pay packet. I think was one of the hardest things, but he's come in and we can only judge him on what he's done for Newcastle United really, in 2 solid games, brilliant against Crystal Palace and then solid against Leicester as well. 2 clean sheets have coincided with that. I think, let's be positive about it and let's get behind him. He seems to be good.
Definitely, and I've been impressed with the communication, which often has been Newcastle get accused of lacking a little bit, but certainly his first game against Crystal Palace, he wasn't scared of telling people where they should be, which I think is great from a centre-half, so what you want. No nonsense, nice and simple. I think he's a good addition to the squad.
Yeah, and then we had the sort of it was a shock arrival really of Wayne Routledge, and I think it caught everybody out. To be totally honest, he was meant to be going to Middlesbrough. That kind of fell through a little bit. I think he then got sort of word that there was sniff. If you go up the road, Newcastle might be interested, and he's gone up there. And let's be honest, he's tore Chris Hughton's hand off once he got the chance to play for the club. And there's not many signings in the last sort of decade where you can say that.
No, not at all. The shadows of Rob Lee, isn't it? I think if he's half as successful as Rob Lee was, that would be a great signing. He's got pace, which is what we're missing big time, wasn't it? And we saw a little bit against Crystal Palace when he came on that his bit of pace can make a big difference. Didn't really get much of a chance to do it down at Leicester, did he? But
no.
I think certainly in home matches, or perhaps more when we're away, if we try to hit teams on the break. I think he's an excellent player to have.
Yeah, when you look at the stats, if you remember back earlier in the season, we're looking at which players are delivering the most in the Championship. Sort of October time, he was right up there. I think he had about 8 assists at that point, and he's already got 1 in the bag for Newcastle against Crystal Palace. So, if he's the player to lay it on, old-fashioned winger, then we'll have him.
Definitely,
Then there was a sort of double whammy, wasn't there? Fitzhall, who we can't really judge too much because we haven't seen him play in a black and white shirt, but certainly a player with Premier League experience.
Definitely, and as you said before, with the injuries that were happening along the back line, they needed someone who could fit in a number of positions, which I think he certainly can. He's been around a little bit, so again, he's hopefully someone that they can rely on just to be nice and steady, not make any mistakes really.
I think with Fitzhall as well, probably the main reason that he's coming on loan until the end of the season. Stephen Taylor's out. We hope he's not out until the end of the season, when being told that it's not that long. But cover is absolutely vital, isn't it?
It's one thing they didn't have, and they're putting pressure on players like Thomas Kedar. The lad's done well when he's played, but I think it's different when he's under so much pressure to come in big games and really sort of turn it on. And I don't think it's quite fair on the young lads to do that. So it gives Chris Hughton another option, doesn't it?
Yeah. And on the subject of cover, Patrick van Aanholt, I think is how you pronounce it. Yeah, I'm calling him Van Aalhouse just for throw a bit of humour in there, But he come on again. Well, he didn't come on. He started against Leicester and he played very well. I think when I say he come on, I think he had a bit of a shaky start. And then after that, he just grew in confidence, made a great block on the line, which prevented Leicester going in front. Then went straight up the other end, nearly scored, which was pleasing to see. I like the overlapping full-backs. I mean, that's something the Newcastle United fans will probably latch onto.
Yeah, I think most of them would have liked to have seen him combine with Gutierrez at some stage on Saturday, but that wasn't to be. But yeah, I mean, there's not many bad players come out of the Chelsea academy, I suppose. And he certainly looked apart on Saturday. I think we all know he's just in for cover for Enrique, who's probably the best player so far in Newcastle shirt this season. But if he can fill those boots for a month, I think, well, he's done his job.
And then finally, last but not least, Leon Best come in, and that was another one where Chris Hughton, he's gone through a sort of range of targets in terms of strikers. Everyone from Jermaine Beckford to Stefan Everson, I think, got mentioned, and Leon Best was certainly in his thoughts all the way through the window, but he came in on the last day, and a lad that seems delighted to be here.
Yeah, he scored more goals than any Newcastle striker, which I think speaks quite a lot. He's got a lot of proof. I was interested reading your interview with him in the Chronicle today that he's quite he has a lot of humility about him, which is interesting. But he's here now, and if he gets the right service, which hopefully players like Routledge can supply, then I think he's got to back him and see where it can go from here.